Hello everyone, Mestre Sucuri coming to you from Capoeira Zoador Academy, Tokyo, Japan. Let's talk about something important today. I've seen so many capoeiristas, from beginners to seasoned players, complain about hip pain, tight hips, clicking sounds, and inflammation, especially when doing Meia-lua de frente, queixada, and armada. Most people think it's just a flexibility issue, but the truth goes deeper. The root cause, contraction instead of expansion. One of the most common problems in contracting the body during the circular kicks, when the body should actually be expanding and opening. Expanding and opening. Let's break it down. In Meia-lua de frente, your body should lift, extend, and rotate with length. But many students tense the hip flexors, close the chest, and pinch the pelvis. And worse, they lower their hands and limit the range of the hips even more. Let me explain. When you do a Meia-lua de frente, let's say from Meia-guarda, what will happen is you're going to be kicking shoulder to shoulder. People will come through and they'll step up, then lift the leg straight, and this is grinding inside of here. So this can cause inflammation and pain. The thing to do is to lift your shoulders up and back, have good posture, and bring your leg up while you're pushing with the front knee forward. And then you do the Meia-lua de frente and bring it back. Second thing is most important is your hands. A lot of people flare the hands and things like this. They're cutting off the distance of the ability for the range of the kick. I tend to keep my hands clean, lift them up, counterbalance going back, and this will keep my hip from having any compression on it. Don't be forward when you kick like this. Come forward and then lift up and get a good posture. This will keep nothing in the trajectory of the kick or the hip, and it'll make the kick a lot easier and a lot more fun. In the queixada, the support leg also tends to become too straight and often collapses backwards. And that'll also put stress here. And the kicking leg pulls across the body instead of flowing outward in a circular arc. So what'll happen is people will pull, and that'll grind by having this leg straight. So from a good bent knee position, step forward, push your chest up. As you see, there's nothing here in front of the hip. Then when I kick, I turn my feet and lift the foot up and do the queixada, turning with my base leg. Again, with the hands, don't do this or pull from here. This will put a lot of pressure on your hips. Just naturally relax, bring the kick up. Relax, bring the kick up. If you notice there's nothing pushing on my hips. And this will help me. When I'm kicking, I'm actually doing this here in front, instead of just turning and arching and compressing on the hips. Finally, on the armada, if you're not lifting tall through the spine, rotating the hips cleanly, the torque grinds deep into the joint. As I step through, I need to make sure that I'm turning all the way, toes back forward, nothing in front. What people will do is they'll still have the shoulder here, which is compressing the hip. So if you go like this, it's going to start to inflame and you're going to have pain in here. The trick to do is to think that your hands are going to be out straight to your partner in front of you. You can have them here, you can have them here, whatever, but not in front. And not cutting the trajectory of the kick. So not here, but extending and pulling up through the spine so that the kick goes all the way through. And this is going to be the way we're going to release stress and not put as much pressure on the hips. What's happening here is that you're grinding the femoral head into the hip socket while under tension. That's friction and inflammation waiting to happen. It's not just about flexibility. Capoeiristas love to stretch, but I'm here to tell you, it's not just about flexibility. It's about movement pattern, posture, and control. And I can't tell you how much I tell my students, posture, posture, posture. I can say it in 10 languages, I think. Good posture when you're kicking. It's okay to play Jinga low and everything, but once you do the kick, you have to pull up through the spine as to have nothing compressing the hips. If you're doing high kicks with tight glutes, like over strengthening it, when putting too much power into it, not power, but force into yourself, it'll cause a lot of pain and suffering into your body. So you need to also make sure that your knees are aligned clean. You're lifting and you're turning with the base leg, and that also helps you to move the hips naturally and more comfortably. You're focusing the hips to move in an unnatural way, and that's what's causing all that pain inside of here. So we really want to make sure we're just moving really natural and nothing compressing that front hip, so that everything we do is nice and comfortable and flows back into our movements. So what's the missing piece? Posture and rotation, or I call torque, right? This also will give you the power. Posture is everything. Before you even kick, ask yourself, is my spine tall and lengthened? Are my shoulders dropped, or are they comfortably raised as not to put pressure on my hips? Am I rotating from the hip socket or forcing them from the knee and ankle? For example, with the armada, are you pushing from the bottom like this, or are you torquing enough that you can open up the hip nice and comfortable? If your pelvis is tucked under, or you're leaning into the kick, you're compressing the joint right inside here. But when you lift tall, engage the core, and use the obliques and glutes to stabilize, now the kick is free and the joint is safe. Here's a little exercise you can do to help with Meia-lua differente, queixada, and armada. For the Meia-lua differente, you can just push the hips forward and back. Push the hips forward and back, and you start to learn that push-pull motion. For the queixada, lifting it up, pushing from the hip, opening up, getting it really nice and stretched out and comfortable. Nothing in the way of the kick. And finally, for the armada, you can step through and again, push the hip forward, but also have it straight to your partner. So what's the solution? Train slow, practice kicks in a slow motion, feel where the tension is. I've had a lot of teachers say, if you can do it to Angola, then you can do it to anything. And you build isometric and more basic technique. The faster you do it at an earlier level can sometimes create bad technique, and that's where the injuries are coming from. Always remember to strengthen your support leg. That's your foundation. Injuries happen a lot there. So for example, when I'm kicking that Meia-lua differente, I'm pushing with that front leg to strengthen it. Then when I return, push back down. It's not step high, fall back, but still hit the meia guarda or paralela, kick the Meia-lua differente, and return through that transition point. Open the chest and rotate the torso. Don't be stiff like a robot. Move like water, right? Just be really relaxed, step through, and kick. A lot of people are very rigid. Relax, breathe. Control the descent. A lot of damage happens not on the way up, but on the way down. Hyperextending the knee. Again, hyperextending the knee, and also easy for a rasteira. So make sure you're returning as you come back in through the move. Capoeira is all about flow, not force. When you honor the architecture of your body, the movement becomes more powerful and sustainable. So remember, hip pain isn't just about stretching more, it's about moving smarter. Meia-lua differente, queixada, armada, they all ask you to spiral, to open, to rotate. Don't fight the movement. Let it flow through you. And if your hips are talking to you, listen early, not too late. Ask your teacher, ask your instructor. Train with awareness, train with purpose. Ashe sempre, Mestre Sucuri, Capoeira Zoador Academy, Tokyo, Japan. If you're interested in this video and more videos that I do, I have a whole bunch of them on my Mestre Vibes Patreon. Check it out. And if you join this week, special surprise.